Okay, let's move on to question 7. Um, so, Hymenoscyphus fraxineus is the fungus that causes ash dieback. This disease usually kills all the ash trees that it infects. So it's a fungal pathogen of plants, essentially. The electron micrograph shows a section through a fungal cell. Okay, to which group do fungi belong? Okay, so remember that archaea is prokaryotic, prokaryota are prokaryotic, and viruses are acellular. And we know that fungi are eukaryotic. We can see there's a nucleus there, other organelles, membrane bound, so B it should be. Oh no, I don't like this question. The diagrams show the distribution of ash trees and H. fraxineus in 2007. In 2007, the mean atmospheric carbon dioxide concentration was 398 parts per million. Models have been used, so this is topic 5, about climate change and being able to predict climate change and so on. Models have been used to predict the effect of increasing atmospheric carbon dioxide concentration on the distribution of ash trees and H. fraxineus. Okay, the table shows these predictions. Okay, so area of distribution of species, right? Distribution of ash trees, distribution of H. fraxineus. Okay, so we're going to analyze the data to spot the patterns. Okay, no matter what the data is, do not freak out. Look for the patterns. All right, let's see. Which of the following is an abiotic factor that should be considered in the model? So when we are talking about abiotic factors, it could be factors that could affect the distribution. Okay, and it's an abiotic factor. So ash tree resistance is a biotic factor. It's to do with the biology of the ash tree that determines how resistant it is to the fraxineus. So that's biotic, so it's not A. H. fraxineus pathogens, again, is living, pathogens living. So that's not an abiotic factor. So humidity and ocean pH are both abiotic factors, but which one would affect fungal growth, right? And this is trees we're talking about, so there's nothing to do with, well, not directly related to oceans, so we can take that off the list and we just do a final check. Would the humidity levels affect the growth of a fungus? Well, yes, because those humidity levels will potentially favor the growth of the fungus, because water is one of the things that living organisms need. Okay, so we go with C. Which of the following could be caused by an increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide from 398 to 1080 ppm? Okay, decreased photosynthesis. So when we increase carbon dioxide concentration, remember CO2 is used in the Calvin cycle, right? So technically, in increasing the CO2 should increase photosynthesis. So we wouldn't decrease photosynthesis. Could we increase global warming? Sure, potentially. Could we increase plant respiration? Increase in atmosphere. Which of the following could be caused by an increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide? So increasing carbon dioxide wouldn't necessarily increase plant respiration. Would it cause ozone depletion? I think not. So I can take those off. I think I'm going to go with global warming. increased plant respiration because of global warming, because of the increased temperature. I don't know. So I'm not gonna go with this one. I'm gonna go with B. But I think there's an argument for C as well, potentially. Analyze the data to explain the predicted effect of climate change on the distribution of ash trees. So we're going to analyze the data, we're going to see what the patterns are, and then we're going to use some bio content to explain those patterns in 5 marks. Okay, right, so let's have a look. So in 2007, the mean atmospheric concentration of carbon dioxide was 398. Okay. So if the concentration is 430, the predicted region sustainable for ash trees becomes bigger or stays the same, pretty much. Okay, predicted region suitable for H. fraxineus is small. Predicted distribution of ash trees, predicted region suitable for ash trees. Okay, what is happening here? So I guess what's happening, predicted region suitable for ash trees. So this, I guess we can look at the total area that ash trees could be in. The predicted region suitable for H. fraxineus. So this is like where the ash trees might not be able to survive as much because the H. fraxineus would be there as well. So this is the controlling kind of factor here, right? Because what's happening, man. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Oh right. So I guess what we're looking at is if the CO2 concentration goes from 430 to 1080, I guess the assumption is that's something to do with time. So if the CO2, as time goes on, if CO2 levels continue to rise, what would happen? So if the CO2 level goes from 430 to 1080, what would happen? So we're comparing the changes going from top to bottom. Top to bottom, okay? Yeah, so I think how we're going to structure our answer is say something about that, then that, then that, okay? And then explain why that might happen. So let's have a look at what's happening. So the predicted region suitable for ash trees is actually not that different, okay? Maybe it's moving north, okay? So we're using the information here, that's 70 north. So, yeah, so the distribution moves north slightly, yeah. Moves a bit more north, so there's less towards the 35 north and more towards the 70 north. But what happens with the H. fraxineus, which is the pathogen, its distribution shifts more north as well. Yeah, so here we can see that it's taken up this area, right? But here, all this region, it's no longer in. So it's moved north. Okay, so the H. fractioneus also moves north, and as a result, what's happening is that the distribution, so there's less of the, so the, you know, the big takeaway of this, or the big difference that this might cause, is that the distribution, so we're going to lose, so if we see here, right, we've lost, so because of the temperature change, I guess, so just predicted region suitable for ash trees is moving north. Okay, so we're losing a lot of that kind of Mediterranean distribution. But we're also losing the very, very north, because the pathogen, the H. fractioneus, is also colonizing the north part of it. So really we're losing the distribution down here and up top, and so we're getting more in the middle. Not more, but I guess it's limited to the middle, so around, what's halfway between 35 and 70. For 35, 70 minus that is 35, 35 divided by 2 is about 15, 16, 17, so about 47, right? So, yeah. Okay, all right. So, let's have a go at now this question. So, analyze the data to explain the predicted effect of climate change on the distribution of ash trees. So, as CO2 concentration increases, predicted regions suitable for ash trees should be green. Predicted region suitable for ash trees moves north. Okay, analyze the data to explain, okay, the effect of climate change. As CO2 increases, predicted region suitable for ash trees moves north. Why? So CO2 is a greenhouse gas and would cause increase in atmospheric temperature, global warming. I wonder if they want us to go into more detail, but analyze the data to explain the predicted effect. I think there's too much to be talking about to go into global warming too much. Okay, so as CO2 increases, predicted region suitable for ash trees moves north. CO2 is greenhouse gas and would cause increase in global atmospheric temperatures. Okay, so yeah, ash trees increase in atmospheric temperatures. Okay. Ash trees may prefer lower temperatures or adapted to. Ash trees adapted to lower temperatures, so that's why they move north. Okay. Okay. Predicted region for H. fraxineus also moves north. Predicted region for H. fraxineus moves north. Okay. Which reduces which would reduce so what we want to say is, what we want to express is that the ash trees will not be able, so the very north, so okay, ash trees cannot occupy, let's just say that. Predicted region for moves north, so most northern region would not be suitable for ash trees as H. fraxineus would be present. Okay. Therefore, ash trees less abundant in southern, let's just call it this ash trees will be less abundant in southern regions and less abundant in the more northern regions. Okay. Yeah. Now, do we need to explain about the H. fraxineus? It's a fungus that causes ash dieback. Okay. Maybe not. Okay. Analyze the data to explain the predicted effect of climate change on the distribution of ash trees. So, ash trees limited to shall we say middle latitudes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Analyze data to explain the predicted effect of climate change on the distribution of ash. I think we've done that. Okay. That is question 7.